The movie begins at the Loud family's house, and they are preparing for Halloween night because everybody enjoys the celebration, and they created a route to get a lot of candy, while the mailman was getting ready to deliver some letters, and he is scared by Lincoln's sisters. Then he starts saying that they always win the scariest house prize, and that each member of their family is in charge of something different. But suddenly we see that he ends up being scared and meets his mother to taste some candy. She starts telling him that his father is hiding from his sister Lynn, and that he is being scared as part of their games. So her father says that he just wants to rest and gets scared again while he was looking for a cookie. We go to the house, and the sisters are anxious waiting for the celebration to begin. But suddenly we see that they had forgotten the dentist and that they are going to the clinic so they can get checked out. They then realize that they were full of cavities and had been pretending to brush their teeth. Then Lincoln says there's a famous person who moved to town and wants to invite him over for trick-or-treating, to which Sander tells him that they are too old to be trick-or-treating, and Lincoln decides to pretend that he doesn't like trick-or-treating either. We go to school, and Lincoln tells his friend that they can't trick-or-treat to become popular. Clyde tells Lincoln that he already had the costumes, and we see that they are invited to Sander's party. So they make the decision that they won't trick-or-treat, and that they'd better go to the party to become popular. We go back to the house and see that they cut the giant pumpkin to make a new decoration. While in the basement, Mr. Lin was hiding so he wouldn't be scared again, and we see that by accident, he ends up being cut by some kind of necklace. Lucy starts telling him that they are the teeth of a wolf, and that he will end up being transformed as part of the ceremony, but suddenly we see that it was all a lie, and that her father still thought it was part of the transformation. So he makes the decision that he would stay away and close the door so he can't get out. We go to the living room, and the sisters are angry that they will not participate in the tradition because they prefer to be popular and will no longer trick-or-treat to go to Sander's party. Then they get together with their friends from school and start saying that they are going to hunt a monster, while their sisters were getting ready to start the celebration, and their mother decided that she would no longer give out candy. We go to the basement, and we see that Mr. Lin was waiting that the transformation begins. So he makes the decision that he has to be strong and that he should hide from the moonlight. But suddenly we see that he ends up falling, and that he begins to think that the transformation has already begun, while Lincoln says that they don't need his help, and we see that his sisters end up feeling sad. Then everybody starts to get ready to start the celebration, and they are excited to be in the best house. We start to see that they are presenting their scary decorations, and they are all dancing to make it perfect. But suddenly we see that everyone is disappointed that Lincoln was not there, and that they only received products for their teeth. So the family decides that they have to hide, and that they need to find candy to make people leave. While Lincoln was at Sander's party, and they managed to realize that it was very boring. Then they start dancing to surprise people, and we see that by accident, they hit Sander. We go back to the house, and Mr. Lin starts running to get the candy, which had caused some people to think he was a monster, and start following him in order to catch him. While at the party, everyone gets a message about the toothbrushes, and says they can't let them ruin their celebration. But when he arrives, he realizes it was about his house, and that he made a mistake for making a commotion. We start to see that they are out of control attacking the house, and he speaks to his family to apologize to them. Lincoln starts telling them that he came back to help them, and that they have to fight to protect their house. Then the whole family is working as a team to chase the people away, and they manage to keep them away from their house, while Mr. Lin ends up getting caught by Lincoln's friends, and they put a collar on him so he can't communicate. We return to the house and see that the family is still fighting back to keep them out of their home, but suddenly we see that they can't beat them, and Lincoln says he has to help them. So he decides that he has to distract them and uses drones to make some figures in the sky. Then Lincoln takes the opportunity to attack the people and manages to make them leave their house. Everybody starts to celebrate that they chased the people away and thanks Lincoln for coming back to help them. But suddenly we see that they see the video of the party and they realize that it was their fault. So his family gets angry that he was a bad brother and that he had caused the night to be ruined. Then they realize that they took the pumpkin and start running to get it back, while their father found an open store and meets up with his friend to buy the candy. But suddenly we see that the teenagers arrived and he manages to escape with the candy from the store. We return to the house and Lisa realizes that her pumpkin was stolen. Then the family discovers who took the pumpkin and that Lincoln was about to be squashed. We go to the dump, and the teens are excited that they will destroy the pumpkin, while Mr. Lin was running to get back to his house and ends up getting hit by his family's truck. His family tells him that he is not a werewolf and that they must get there in time to save their son. We start to see that they are about to be crushed inside the pumpkin and manage to get there in time to stop them from destroying it. Then they tell them to get away from the pumpkin, and Lincoln ends up confessing that it was his family. Lincoln tells the teens that he was wrong and that nothing is more important than being with his family. The family begins to fight to defeat the teens and destroy the pumpkin to stop them bothering them. Then Lincoln says he has an idea to get people back, and we see them go through the streets giving out the new candy, with which they manage to get their family forgiven, and everyone is partying at the Loud's house. This is how the movie ends. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment on what more movies you would like to see on the channel.